Today we are discussing APA documentation and formatting. First, let us look at how a paper is formatted in APA style. APA format requires that all your work be double-spaced with a 1-inch margin on each side. This is generally the default setting for a Word document, and you will usually not have to change anything. Use Times New Roman font size 12. APA formatted assignments will always include a page header, also known as a running head. The running head includes two elements: page numbers listed in the top right corner and a shortened version of the title of your work in the top left corner. Now let me open a Word document and show you how exactly a running head is placed on a document. To type in the header area, double-click on the top end of the document. This will allow you to add information to the header area. Now if I simply type a number here, the problem is the same number will appear on each page. If I click my way to a new page, I see that it has the same page number as the previous one. But this is not what we want. So to have each page of my document numbered correctly, I will go back to the header area, and from the top menu, click on Insert. Then I will click on Page Number. Here, since I want the page number to be in the top right corner, I will select the option titled Top of Page. Then from the pop-up window, I will look for the option that places the number to the right. Once I click on this option, page numbers will appear on my document. Now the next thing we need to add is the shortened version of the title of your work. Remember, I said shortened version, not your entire title. Points will be deducted if you provide the same title for both your full title and the shortened version. The shortened title of your essay goes on the left side of the header area. So double click in the header area and type the words running head, followed by the shortened title. Since you already have your document numbered, the easiest way to do this is to bring your cursor right in front of the number and type the shortened title. In APA format, all letters of the shortened title in the running head are capitalized. Once you have the title typed, push the Tab key to flush the shortened title into the left corner. This form of capitalization is used only for the running head. The full title of the essay is written by capitalizing the first letter of all major words. APA requires that although the shortened title and page numbers should appear on all pages of your document, the letters running head should appear only on the first page, also known as the title page. To make the running head on the front page look different from the other pages, scroll down to the end of the first page. And from the top menu, click on Page Layout. Then click on Breaks. From the drop-down menu, select Next Page. This will create a break between your first page and the pages that follow. Now go to page number 2 and double-click in the header area. Now from the top menu, under Design option, click on Link to Previous. This will allow your second page to be delinked from the first page. That way the header appearing on the first page will not appear on the following pages. Now you can delete running head so that it does not appear on any of the following pages and just stays on the first page as shown over here. Page number 1 shows running head, title page. Page number 2, we have it numbered right, but it only says title page. And remember, the shortened title will always be capitalized. All letters will be capitalized. With this step, we now have our running head in APA format. Now let's move back to the lecture slides. APA requires that all papers written in APA format should have 4 major sections: title page, abstract, main body, and references. However, for all my classes, unless I instruct otherwise, your papers will have 3 sections: title page, main body, and a reference list. Like I said, unless I specifically ask in the assignment prompt, I do not want you to add an abstract to your submission. Let's now discuss the format of the title page. As we already discussed, the first thing on your title page will be the running head. Next item is the title block. APA title block differs from a MLA title block. First difference is in the location of the title block. Unlike the MLA title block, APA title block is placed in the center of the title page. The information you include in the title block is your full title for your work, your full name, your course title. Now this is not an APA requirement, but I want you to add course title to the title block. The fourth and last thing you will add is the name of the institution. Do not add any other information besides these 4 items. This is an example of what your title page will look like. Notice that the shortened title in the running head and the full title of the essay are not the same, and they shouldn't be. Now we move to APA documentation, and we will first discuss in-text citations. In-text citations involve referencing the original text in parentheses within the text of your work. Add an in-text citation whenever you quote, paraphrase, summarize, or use data from a source. Another way to look at this is that whenever the work is not your original work, credit the source. So what goes into a parenthetical citation? In APA format, a parenthetical citation includes the author's last name, year of publication, and a page number from which the cited material was taken. If you add your author's name in the text of your paper, then you do not have to add the author's last name to the parenthetical citation. Just provide the year of publication and page numbers. This slide gives you an example of a good parenthetical citation. Author's last name, comma, year of publication, comma, the letter P followed by a period, and then the page number, all within closed parentheses followed by a period. Remember, all punctuation and where it is placed is important in APA. When creating a parenthetical citation, if you come across a source that does not provide the author's name, do not say anonymous or not found. Instead, you will cite by providing the first few words of the source title. If your source is a shorter work, an article, chapter, or a short story, the title will be placed in quotation marks. But this is only when you are providing the title within a parenthetical citation in the text of your work. When the same title is added to the reference list, it is not placed in quotation marks or any other special markings, so make changes accordingly. The title of larger work, books, journals, and reports is italicized, both in the in-text citations as well as in the reference list. If your source has two authors, provide the last name of both authors. APA allows the use of the and symbol instead of spelling it out. If your source has three or more authors, use the last name of all authors in the first parenthetical citation. In the following citations, use the last name of the first author followed by ET space AL dot and the year of publication and page numbers. If you have a source without page numbers, cite it by providing the paragraph numbers preceded by PARA dot and then the paragraph number. The next step in APA documentation is to add a reference list. A reference list provides complete information for every source cited in the text of your paper. If your source is a book, the information that will go into the reference list will include author's last name, comma, first and middle initials, period, year of publication within parentheses, period, title of the book, which is italicized, followed by a period, publication city, comma, state or country, colon, publisher, followed by a period. Punctuation is a big deal with documentation. Make sure you place the right punctuation in the right place. When your source is an anthology, you will provide author's last name, comma, first and middle initial, period, publication date in parentheses, year only, period, title of the article or chapter. Do not add quotation marks because that is done only when it's an in-text citation, not in the reference list. Followed by a period. Add first and middle initial of editor's name, period, last name, and within parentheses, ed, period, followed by a comma after the parentheses. Title of the book or anthology italicized. Page numbers preceded by P dot or PP dot, publication city, comma, state or country, colon, publisher, period, original publication date of the work goes at the end and is written in parentheses. Now, if you do not have the original publication date, it is okay to not add that onto your list. An in-text citation for an anthology works a little different. For an anthology, if you have the original publication date and the republication date, both dates are added to the parentheses. As shown here in the example, author's last name, comma, the original date, as well as the republication date, both are provided within parentheses. For an online source, provide author's last name, comma, initials, followed by period, year and month of publication, title of article, title of the magazine, which is italicized, volume and issue, DOI or retrieved from URL. For an article accessed through a database, provide the author's last name, first and middle initials, followed by a period, year of publication within parentheses, followed by a period, title of the article, period, title of the journal, italicized, followed by a period, the volume or issue number, comma, pages, followed by a period, and the DOI or retrieved from database or URL. Okay, now let's see how a reference list is formatted. I have already created a reference list to share with you. Notice how the running head comes all the way to the last page. Always start your reference list on a new page, even if the previous page has only few sentences on it. The title of your reference list will always be References. This title is centered on the top of the page. Notice that there are no special markings. The title is not bolded, italicized, underlined, or written in bigger font size. After the title, you start adding your sources to the list. Make sure your sources are listed in alphabetic order. Start listing each source at the margin and indent the following lines by 1 tab. Then with the next source again start from the margin, and so on. This form of indenting is called hanging indent. To create a hanging indent, select the area you want indented, and I purposely made this citation not follow the actual APA format so that I could correct it in front of you and show you how to do the hanging indentation and double spacing and all that. So to create a hanging indent, you select the area you want indented and then right click on it. From the drop-down menu, click on Paragraph. A pop-up will appear. Here under Indentation, open the drop-down menu and make the selection Hanging. Click OK, and the hanging indent will be created. Another thing you have to remember is that everything should be double spaced. To double space, use the same steps we just discussed. Right click on the area you want to double space. From the pop-up menu, select Paragraph, and this time from the under spacing, from the pop-up menu under spacing, make the selection double, press OK, and your list will be double spaced. Now notice that there's some extra space here between the second and third source. So delete the extra space and make sure everything within your list is double spaced. Again, the list should be in alphabetic order, no special markings to the title, hanging indentation for every source. You start at the margin and every following line after the first is indented by 1 tab. And again, with the new source you start with at the margin. Before concluding, let us recap the 12 basic APA rules. Reference list should appear at the end of your paper. It provides the information necessary for a reader to locate and retrieve any source you cite in the body of your paper. Each source you cite in the paper must appear in your reference list. Likewise, each entry in the reference list must be cited in your text. Your references should begin on a new page separate from the text of the essay. Label this page References, centered at the top of the page. Do not bold, underline, or use quotation marks for the title. All text should be double spaced, just like the rest of the essay. All lines after the first line of each entry in your reference list should be indented 1/2 inch from the left margin. This is called hanging indentation. Reference list entries should be alphabetized by the last name of the first author of each work. For multiple articles by the same author or authors listed in the same order, list the entries in chronological order from earliest to most recent. Present the journal title in full. Italicize titles of longer works such as books and journals. Do not italicize, underline, or put quotes around the titles of shorter works such as journal articles or essays in edited collections.